Hey folks, welcome back to Biscuits Total War. This is Biscuits giving you another online commentary for Rome Total War, and as always the rules are 31k rules. We're playing on the grassy flatlands and we've got a nice cheeky 4 versus 4 coming your way. As you can see right in front of you, I've deployed and I'm using the Germanian faction, and of course we all like Germany. Germany equals mass rout, equals carnage, equals death, and that's exactly what I want to try and dish out today with this faction. So if you do like mass routes, if you want to check out Germany, this video should hopefully be good for you. If you're new to the channel or you're not sure what 31k rules are, if you click on the home page you'll see a video illustrating how 31k rules is set out. Anyway, it's going to be 4 versus 4. I've been joined by some great 31k players, people I've been playing with over the last few years, and it should be an absolute pleasure to take part in. So who have we got here? We've got myself as the Germanians. I'll quickly outline my build just in case you decide that you want to use Germany and 31k yourself. I'll go for 5 Gothic Cav, which is the best large Cav unit the Germans can field, and a chosen warlord. The reason being that the barbarian factions are really weak when it comes to losing their general, so to make sure the general is safe, I've stuck him in this cavalry unit. And also it gets some extra hit points, it is pretty well armoured, so nice and safe. We've got 2 Knight Raiders. Now the Knight Raiders, they're pretty good, they're great at scaring units, and I've got 3 Berserker units which really hopefully should clock up the kills and scare the enemy. I've got 3 of them. I've got 3 archers. Again, the archers, I'm going to use them to use their fire arrow to try and scare the enemy. And last but not least, I've got the chosen axemen. Now these guys, there's 9 of them, and these guys are great for killing urban cohorts. So this entire army is really built to try and mass rout either the Brutii, the Julii, or the Armenians that you can see in the far distance. So who else is on my side? Well, we've got a great player, a guy called Hades, been playing Rome Total War for some time. He has brought 6 Praetorian Cav, he's brought 1 Legionary First Cohort, and you can see they're situated in the front of their formation. There's 122 men in that unit, and the reason why he's using them as a peeler screen, basically it means that this unit should be able to hopefully absorb a lot of peeler damage, and they should be able to throw off 122 times 2 worth of volleys of peeler into the enemy. Then he's got a bunch of urbans situated right behind, so a nice little formation there. Last but not least, or not even last, but penultimate to last, we've got my Titans Mohamed. This guy needs no introduction. He used to be in the old Heaven clan back in the day with myself. He's now in the Titans clan. He has got 4 auxiliary archers. He has got 6 Praetorian Cav and the rest urbans. The reason why he's gone for so many archers is to try and gun down the enemy archers. The reason being, because I've bought the Germans, what you'd normally think, logically speaking, the enemy should bring quite a lot of archers to try and gun down my Germans, because my Germans got little to no armour on them. So to try and anticipate that manoeuvre, Mohammed's brought 4 archers. And then we've also got, from the sunny side of Germany, we've got King Marcus. Again, he's been playing Rome Total War for some time. He has brought his general unit. This unit he always brings in 31k rules, so you always know it's Marcus because he brings his armoured general unit. He's then got 2 auxiliary archers, 5 Praetorian Cav, and then the rest urbans. Let's go and have a look at the enemy. Now the next guy here, this is the enemy, the opposition. We've got a guy called Babu, or Antiocius III the Great. He's fielded the Armenians. A risky manoeuvre bringing the Armenians, because the Armenians, yes, they've got cataphracts which are decent. They've got these spearmen, they're not, what are they? They're pikemen. No, the spearmen, they're not even pikemen. These guys really vulnerable against arrow fire, and really vulnerable against the Germans. So you'll see exactly what happens in a moment. But he's brought 3 archers, he's brought 5 cataphracts, 1 cataphract general, and the rest of these pikemen. Not even pikemen, sorry, spearmen. Let's have a look at the next player. The guy is called Mr. A, or AK Andy. He's brought the Julii, consisting of 2 auxiliary archers, 1 Legionary First Cohort, 6 Praetorian Cav, and then the rest urban cohort. And again, if you're wondering why everyone brings urban cohort are probably the most cost-effective unit, the best unit that the Romans can bring. So definitely when it comes to high money games, you want to bring plenty of urban cohorts. Some may call it spam, but if everybody brings urban cohorts, basically we're all fighting on an even keel. Anyway, we've got Terrible Turk. He's brought the Brutii faction. He's brought 6 Praetorian Cav and 14 Urbans. And last but not least, we've got Heaven Member Bacon. He's brought the Greek city-states, and he has brought 20 gold attack Spartans. So let's get this battle started. Let's kickstart the replay and see exactly what happens. Now, if you have a look at Bacon's formation, you can see it looks like he's got 2 clumps. And what he's going to do is going to split his army into 2 segments. He's going to have this segment here and that segment here. So with that, he should be able to take on one of our Roman armies. I'd say 20 gold attack Spartans should easily be able to take on at least one of these Roman armies, if not 1.5. If used correctly, in theory they should be able to take on 2 full stacks of Romans. Because these guys are really, really good when it comes to attack. The Spartans have got awesome attack stats. All you need to do is put your phalanx down, take off guard mode, click on the unit and go and kill them. Really as simple as that. Unlike a lot of pike units, you need to remain with guard mode on. The Spartans are one of those few units which are really aggressively, got really good aggressive stats, so you can just literally chomp through urbans like there's no tomorrow. And that's the reason why he's brought them, because primarily he wants to try and either take on the Germans, which he should be able to do, and also take on one of these Roman armies. Let's have a little glance to see what's going on here. So in the meantime, over here the action's kicking off. We have got the Armenians. They've run forward with their archers. Now the archers won't have the same range as these auxiliary archers, so these auxiliary archers have managed to get off a few volleys before these guys can get their volleys in. But one thing that Babu, the Armenian player, has done, which is a really nice manoeuvre, he brought this armoured general. With the armoured general, I believe he was trying to counter Marcus, because he knew that Marcus would bring this one unit. So by using that armoured cataphract, he probably was able to scare off Marcus's cav unit. But unfortunately, although these cataphracts are pretty damn strong, they're not going to be able to restrain a mass frontal charge of the entire Scipii, the blue Roman force, running straight into them, as well as supported by the Senate here, the purple Romans. So the combined weight of these 2 ginormous units here, these 2 armies here, have caused the Armenians to fall back, as well as the Julii to fall back. But in the meantime, we can see over here the enemy are going to press forward. The Terrible Turk is getting into formation, it looks like, against Hades. And I've also situated my Germanian army right behind. Now what I want to do with these Germans, I don't want to engage them. I want to wait for the perfect time before I engage my units. The reason being is like rolling the dice with Germany. Now you need to try and go in quick with a strike and cause a mass rout. If you don't do that, unfortunately the defense stats upon these Germans are really, really low, so they can't really hold out in a prolonged melee fight, unlike the urban cohorts there, the allies here. So we really need to go in there, strike quick, strike hard, and just hopefully we can trigger that illustrious mass rout. In the meantime, we can see that of course we're playing this game on the Steam servers, because just check out these glitches which are going on. We can see these units just almost exploding. You can see Mohamed's cav just really running all around the battlefield. So I'm not looking too tidy there. Unfortunately, we were going to use that as our pressing advantage. You can see Mohamed and King Marcus, they're going to come around this flank here and really pile the pressure upon Mr. A, and really just try and get these Armenians to run away. So unfortunately that's kind of scuppered that plan, so they've had to hold off here because they can't attack whilst their armies are glitching. If their armies are glitching, unfortunately it means they haven't got control of them, and also means they're extremely vulnerable against any enemy attack. But the good thing that the enemy are doing, they're playing by the rules. If they didn't have any morals, what they would do, they'd use their cav and just charge them straight into these glitch units and trigger a mass rout. But thankfully they're not doing that. They're giving us a bit of time here to try and get our units back into formation, because you can see Mohamed and Marcus's units are basically buggered at the moment. In the meantime, we can see Terrible Turk. He's throwing off a couple of volleys of Pila, but unfortunately I think he had his guys in auto fire. What auto fire means is if you press A with these urban cohorts, if these urban cohorts stand still and an enemy unit comes into close proximity, they will automatically fire off their volleys of Pila. Their Pila are the 2 or 3 javelin that these units have. Now what you want to do, you want to use these javelins against high cost units, aka other urban cohorts. What you don't want to do is waste your Pila against these auxiliary archers, and unfortunately I think that's exactly what's happened. You can see there's a bunch of dead auxiliary archers over here, and that's not due to archer fire or from anything else. It's due to Terrible Turk throwing his spears or his Pila right into these poor auxiliary archers. But in the meantime, it looks like Mohamed and Marcus have now got their units back into formation. The glitch is over. Because the glitch is over, we're going to get our guys back into formation and then press that button to engage and really trying to see what we can try and muster between us. You can see my Germans, I brought them forward and I'm going to bring them back. I really want to make sure they're not in the range of these archers, because these archers over here, they're firing away, but once they get into range of these Germans, they should be able to shred my units up pretty good, because these Germans are pretty badass. You can see they've left their tops at home, they're showing off their six-pack, they're showing off their abs, maybe catching a few beams of sunshine, a bit of a suntan on their backs, who knows. Anyway, so things are still looking pretty good. We can see now that the Greek city-states have split their army into 2 segments. You've got one segment here, and we've got the other segment here. So really nice move here. In comes Terrible Turk. He's going to throw in his units here, going to get right into close proximity. Once he's in close proximity, he's going to try and throw a couple of volleys of Pila. But because Hades was waiting for him, what Hades has been able to do is get the first couple of volleys off first. Also, if you notice that Terrible Turk isn't actually throwing any volleys of Pila. The reason being, he's actually already thrown his volleys of Pila because he threw them on those auxiliary archers. So that's a great little upper advantage there for Hades, because what Hades has been able to do is get a couple of volleys of Pila off first, managed to do a lot of damage to these units. He's got his legionary first cohort into Testudo, and now he's just going to sit there and really try and break up the formation of Terrible Turk. In the meantime, on this flank, you can see that the Scipii are now pushing in. Hades is doing another little nice move here. He's got his urban cohorts into guard mode and put Testudo on them, and that basically means it's going to try and slow down the advance of all of these Spartans. What I'm also going to do, I'm going to bring my cav around the flank here, and the reason being, I wanted to try and either engage the back of these Spartans, do a hammer and anvil, or basically just try and mess up their formation a little bit. That's what the plan was. But it's worked absolutely perfectly, because what has happened is all of the cataphracts that were over here, now these cataphracts are basically the striking power, the killing power of these Armenians. They've been moved over to this flank to try and attack my Germans. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get my Germans and I'm going to run them back over here. And in the meantime, what you can see going on, you can see Hades has now gone over a cav strike right into the heart of the enemy. So he's managed to do a nice little strike here. It's caused a couple of little rounds, but there are some pike units here which should be able to really kill and destroy some of these cav units. In comes Mohamed with a little strike here to try and support his ally. I've got my archers here, and I've got my archers to the flame attack, and I'm shooting these guys. But what is going to cause the damage is these Germans. Never mind Mohamed's cav. Mohamed's cav will come in with a little strike, but what's really going to cause this damage is all of my Germans. So primarily what we're looking at is the Night Raiders. As I mentioned before, the Night Raiders scare the enemy, Berserkers scare the enemy. So let's just see what happens. This magic combination of both Night Raiders and Berserkers. Look, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My archers. In comes these Germans. These guys, let's just pause it for 2 seconds. What are they saying? They are broken. They're broken, unhappy to see friends routing. These guys are unhappy. These guys are broken. These guys are feeling panic, oblivious, tired. So just watch all of these Armenians. Now I mentioned these Armenians are no great shakes against the Germans, and you'll see exactly what I mean now. Just watch this. Look, All of these flags here, all of these Armenians, they're all breaking. Anyone who never played Rome Total War before think there's some sort of glitch going on. It's just basically a mass rout that's been triggered. Spartans and Urban Cohorts, probably the best units. I say probably, they are the best units of Rome Total War. But just watch, in comes these Berserkers, in come these Knight Raiders. These Knight Raiders have got these little black shields. They're just chomping the backs of these Spartans. Spartans, you know, they're not having it today. They're running away. Again, there's more Armenians here, but there's more and more Germans coming their way. And what happens when you mix an Armenian with a German? Probably sounds like some sort of racist joke, but you'll see it's going to be triggered. Yep, mass rout, another rout. There we go. They don't even need to touch these Armenians, and these guys have been absolutely wiped off the face of the earth. Now over here, as I mentioned before, we had, let's pause this for 2 seconds. We had all of these Spartans. So if you remember a couple of moments ago, Bacon Bob or Bacon Commando, whatever his name is, just Bacon, he split his Spartans into 2 clusters. One cluster was over here, which got obliterated, and you can see those guys running off back to sunny Greece. The other half are going to do one heroic last stance. Now I know that their army has been routed over there, so these guys are going to be intimidated, and they're intimidated because we've got these Germans behind them, and they're primarily intimidated by these Knight Raiders. So the Knight Raiders are scaring all of these Spartans. All I need to do is engage the cav, which I've got here, check out this Gothic cav, and let's just see exactly what happens to these poor Spartans. Normally Spartans 1 versus 1 of cav absolutely decimate cav, but not when it comes to Germania, and I'm going to outflank them. Also, to add some salt into the wounds, we've got my archers here. My archers are going to shoot the backs of these cataphracts. Cataphracts don't like being shot in the back, especially with flame attack, especially when they're unhappy to see their allies routing. And there we go, they're gone. The Armenians have been mass routed, they've been taken out of the picture. The only thing that's going on here, the only thing that's left is this kind of tussle at the back here. Now Mr. A, who is the Julii, doing a nice little 1 versus 1 against King Marcus, and he's also got all of his cav here. So what he should be able to do is get his cav in here and try and mass rout and take out King Marcus. But time is not on his side, because we've seen this, and we've got, yes, we've got those magic Knight Raiders. They're running in here. We've got these chosen axemen as well as Mohammed's army, and we're going to try and surround Mr. A before he can try and surround the Blue Romans, the Scipii played by King Marcus. So let's see what happens here. Mr. A needs to come with a nice cav strike. He needs to come in there quickly, trying to rout the enemy, but he's taking his time. In comes the Julii here. He's going to try and do a lot of damage. King Marcus is holding on. He's trying to hold his ground. You can see, look, in comes the Julii. Should be able to trigger like a nice little mass rout here. And look, you can see all of the Scipii starting to rout. Really nice charge there by the Julii. But unfortunately, Marcus has asked for reinforcements, and reinforcements is exactly what he's going to get, because now we're going to throw in these chosen axemen. These chosen axemen, look, that's it. That's worth a little photo there, I think. They're coming in, they're going to just chop up, they're going to munch all of these urban cohorts. Urban cohort do not know what's hit them. The Julii are going to come in with another strike here probably. They're probably going to try and finish off Marcus. But here we've got Mohammed's cav over here. Mohammed's infantry. Look, just check out all of these Romans, red Romans. Magic trick now. Just check out all of these red Romans and what's going to happen to them now. They're going to get charged over here. They're going to get charged over here. And there we go. Triggered, mass rout, envelopment, slaughter. All of these poor Julii being gunned down. And to add some more insult to injury, we're just going to throw in our berserkers, throw in our cav. And yes, where there was a nice big regiment of Julii, that has now been absolutely wiped off the battlefield. Only thing that's going on here is Hades has been a bit cheeky here. He's getting some free kills. He's destroying, he's chopping up all of these routing units before they get off the battlefield. As the commentator said, stunning victory, really well played to all the guys here. Boo Boo, the Armenian player, I've got to be honest, he probably did really hinder himself by bringing the Armenians, but it was a good little thing that he did. I think if he'd brought the Macedonians, or maybe even brought the Greeks, it would have been a much tighter battle, but of course it's a heroic victory. Nice victory here. Let's look at the kill count. So myself, 1359 kills. Titans Hades, 2000 kills. I think he got a lot of those kills, if you ask me in all honesty, for being a bit cheeky there, killing those routing units. Mohamed, 1200 kills. King Marcus, 690 kills. Let's look at the Armenians. Sadly, only 330 kills. Mr. A, 1101 kills. I reckon if he was just going 1-to-1 against Marcus, he would have won that, but because he had support from the rest of my team here, managed to scare off and finish off those Julii. Terrible Turk, 675 kills, and the Greeks, 608 kills. Unfortunately, the last two never really got going because they got triggered by that mass rout. So guys, as always, let me know what you thought of the replay. If you're new to the channel, if you're new to Rome Total War and you want to check out more of these big scale battles, check out the channel. There's plenty of videos on there. And as always, guys, I know it's always a cliche thing to say, but thank you for your support. I really do appreciate all the viewers and people that check out the channel. I appreciate that my content, I'm not playing any new Total War games. It's all old historic Rome Total War stuff. So I appreciate all you guys sticking with the channel, watching the videos. It really means a lot to me because I enjoy these videos, I enjoy playing Rome Total War, and it's always nice to have some participation from the viewers, people like yourself leaving comments and thumbs up. Anyway folks, I'll catch you guys soon. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next video on Biscuits Total War. Bye now.